Hello guys and gals, how's your day or night? My day went pretty well actually because I was at my college in Elk Grove, Consumnes River College, helping to film a music video for our RTVF film production class. And you know, we got some cool shots, we got some okay shots, we got a totally whack-it cool shot of us standing in front of a train as it passes by while the lead singer was like singing his lyrics, right? It was just so, man, that train shot was our money shot. But anyway, why am I mentioning this? Well, I just want to start off this little rant-like video just more positively. I want to start it more with a sense of hope and with a sense of happiness, because I really did have a awesome day because of that film production class. But now, as I looked through the behind the scenes footage of our shoot and the photos of our shoot, I realized that we were all fairly young when we were making those shots and forming those clips, right? And I was camera operator. And I realized too, I was 19, and which makes me like a fairly young filmmaker. It makes me fairly young compared to like most of my crew and cast during the music video shoot back in my CRC college, right? So I've been thinking, and I've been thinking about this for the past few days, even past few weeks or so. I just don't believe in film prodigies, and I think there's too much of them. Let me explain. You notice the title of this video is making a feature film when I'm blank blank years old, right? The reasoning for that title is because I honestly don't really care anymore if I'll make a film at 21 or 22 or 25 or 37 or 56 years old. Maybe that's a bit too extreme, but you get the point. A lot of people in media, not just filmmaking, but media, movies, music, TV, they want to start off as young as possible. They want to sink their teeth and show off their skills, show off their prestige when they're like really young, which is not a bad thing. This is not necessarily a bad thing. Depending on your skill level, depending when you're ready for it. I've seen some local filmmakers here in Sacramento make their feature films fairly young actually, like 20s, early 20s. There's been successful filmmakers that started 24, 23, 22. I mean, Sam Raimi, Kevin Smith, Robert Rodriguez, these guys started when they were fairly young, and good for them. The problem arises when you start being a dick about it, when you start being an ego about it, which means you're, sorry about that noise back there, but it's when you start to, how do I say this, just be really full of yourself and use your age as a marketing strategy to kind of establish yourself as a filmmaker. And age isn't the only component, people. You can't just say, hey, I'm this young 20-something-year-old filmmaker. I made this feature. Will you sell it? Will you buy it for me? And there's the pros and cons for that, right? Pros is, yes, you'll start off a lot earlier and you'll have more time in your life to make features and shorts. The con is, you just might have that mentality of rushing yourself into it. And it hurts. It really hurts when you start way too early and you don't know what you're doing, and your film is eventually sold off to Amazon or iTunes and you barely make a profit for it, and you sink in that self-loathing wormhole. All your work, all your heart and efforts you've done over weeks, months, even years, it's almost all gone. Because maybe you just rushed, you started too early. I've made 6 feature-length scripts, people, and I wanted so desperately to make a feature ever since I was 14. And then slowly throughout my years of experience in this field, I've realized that I should really take my time. I thought I was going to make a feature when I was 14 at 16, and then at 16 when I was 18. And now I'm thinking, quite recently in fact, maybe I should do it when I'm 22. At least 22, maybe 21, right? Then I think the moral of rushing yourself and trying to make stuff at a young age is to really know within yourself when is the right time. It's totally okay if your right time is 35. It's totally okay if the right time is 25. Just don't allow other people push you or influence you to make something right away as fast as you can, right? Just fresh out of high school, even fresh out of college. Take your time, please. Same thing with other fields, really, like rapping, right? And YouTube stars. They're getting younger and younger, don't you think? Have you noticed that? There's rappers coming out right now, like Annalie Choppa and Lil Tecca. They're like babies compared to some other rappers like 20 years ago that are starting out. They're like 16 when they started out. Crazy, right? Bad Baby. She got her fame when she was 15. This little Tay girl, this Asian girl, little girl, she got her fame when she was 9 or 10. Some of you might not know what I'm talking about, but these are just examples. So my point here is, let that snowball effect go, and don't put too many things into one basket all at once, and just slowly develop that basket over time. I know this is such a tangent, this is such a rant, but I just want to lash it out on the camera. I just want to show what I mean, show what I need to tell you guys. This is both a want and a need for me, recording this video, to prove to you guys that I'm going to take my time from now on. And if you want to expect a feature from me, do not rush it from me. Because a wise teacher told me this. She's actually my RTVF teacher. She told me that, RTVF teacher in CRC. She told me that, don't let anyone make a path for you. Make your own path. Make your own path that works right for you, because every filmmaker, every creator has their own biography. They have their own journey of when and where and how and why they became who they are. And you should have yours too. Don't compare yourself with anyone else. That's another thing I hate. Don't compare yourself with anyone else, because that was my mistake. Texting all these young Sacramento filmmakers, how did you do it? How did you do this? Why are you so snobby about it? Yeah, if you say things like that, you're going to have a lot less friends. So compare yourself only to yourself. And if you make a mistake, just own it, analyze what you've done, and just move on. Simply. Back to my earlier thoughts. First story I mentioned. The younger people that I worked with and the older people that I worked with compared to my age, 19, on that music video shoot, I knew they had determination, they had confidence, and they had, most of all, ambition and drive to get this video done. And they weren't thinking about comparing themselves or like their ages or when they will succeed and push and compete against each other. They don't compete against each other because we're all a team effort. Because honestly, painting, sculpting, photography even, if you compare those to filmmaking in terms of it being a singular experience for an artist, that's total BS. Because you think you own your film? No, because once you make your film, the audience owns it. And even before that, it's not just you primarily owning your film. It's your whole cast and crew owning your film. It's a team effort. Filmmaking is a collaborative sport, which goes on to my statement that there are no film prodigies. Because how can you be a film prodigy if your work is not your singular vision? It's a vision of others. It's a collaborative sport. So please don't go all bitching in the comment section saying that, film is an art form and there should be prodigies. There should be virtuosos in the field. Well, I'm sorry to tell you, but in this field, it's especially nowadays, there's a lot of business involved. There's a lot of technicalities involved. It's more about making the moolah. It's about making a profit first, then the critical response, then the awards, then the accolades. Okay, this rant's going on for what? Oh, a lot of time just passed by, but hopefully you guys just got my point. I'm so sorry. Take your time, no worries, you'll make it someday. And yes, I am going to be making a feature when I'm blank years old. I don't know quite yet, but I'll get there someday. And let me give you some examples of filmmakers when they were pretty old compared to nowadays, in a modern context. And like how old they were when they made their debuts. Shane Carruth made his debut with Primer, right? Did that when he was like what? Early 30s, like 32. Greta Gerwig made her feature when he was like what? Her feature debut, she made it when he was like her in her early 30s. Barry Jenkins made his debut when he was 30. Director of Moonlight. There's even directors in their 50s that made their directorial debuts, people. I think this guy, Sidney Pollack, also did it. So just, when the time is right, own it. But don't let anyone influence you and tell you when the time is right. You tell yourself when the time is right. And as for that basket, if you keep working hard, if you keep progressing, if you keep trying hard and hard, that basket will eventually fill up. It's like filling water with a basket. You can fill in a little bit or a lot of water from the hose, but eventually it will fill up. See you next time, guys. And as I would say, have a nice day. My arms are getting a bit kooky today. Like, woo, my arms are too kooky. I'm bad with impressions.